Hey guys! To continue with my kitchen series here, I am taking you back to our family vacation home in Utah. I'm still here to organize the cabinets today. They are just not very functional. It's really hard to access things and everything's just kind of heaped in a pile with no rhyme or reason to it. Now, I'm not actually going to use any organizational aids such as you know, bins or holders or something like that. I thought I would just try to organize based purely on function and arranging things by use and type. So let's go ahead and I will show you, of course, just like with the kitchen drawers, what they look like before and what they look like after. In case you missed the last video, I'm just going to give you a quick overview of our kitchen here at the family vacation home in Utah. This home is owned by my in-laws. They built it 25 years ago, and they are very gracious in sharing the space with us. And in return, I like to pitch in with organizational projects when requested. And kitchen organization was requested, so here it is. Today I'm going to be sharing cabinet organization. I'm mainly going to be focusing on the lower cabinets, not including the one under the sink. I'm going to probably do a separate video for that. But just mainly pots and pans and bowls and that sort of thing. And then I'll probably show you where we keep our plates and cups as well. There's one cabinet I'm not going to be organizing today, and that's the spice cabinet, because I do not have the tools I need to properly organize that. So maybe I will do it at a future point and show you later on. But anyway, here's the kitchen. It's beautiful. There's lots of cabinets and drawers. If you missed the drawer organization video, there'll be a link to that below. But it's a beautiful kind of country-esque looking kitchen. I love the wood and granite accents. And there's a lot of storage space, and they're very deep cabinets, which can make it tricky to organize. So I'm actually going to organize them without using any tools at all, just organizing them by where I'm placing things. So let's get started. Alright, so I've set up some lights here, so if you see them in the kind of the edges of the video, I apologize. They're just like desk lights, so you can actually see the cabinet. This is the one on the left side of the sink, and it is where we store all of our pots and pans and some miscellaneous appliances and things. And you can see it's just kind of a jumbled mess, and I really think this just needs to be organized without even using any organizational tools, just in the way things are placed for easier access. And there's some things in here that can go somewhere else that make more sense. But the cabinet itself is extremely deep, and things tend to get lost back there. So I'm not really gonna focus too much on that area. I think that'd be a great place to put like things you don't use that often. So I might throw some things back there, but I'm gonna go ahead and just organize kind of by type of thing and try to make things more functional without the use of aids. So I started by pulling all of the pots out, and I want to have the lids on the pots instead of in this drawer. Interestingly enough, we have more lids than pots, so I think I'm gonna store the bonus lids kind of tucked into the corner of this deep cabinet where it's hard to reach things, and that way you don't have to go rummaging through that drawer every time you want a lid for a pot. It'll already be stored on the pot. Okay, so just in a few short minutes I rearranged things, like I said, without using any organizational aids here, just to make things a little more accessible, a little more easy to reach. All the pots now have their lids on them, and like I said, the extra lids are tucked in that kind of dead space in the corner on the lower shelf. And I've placed the larger pots below or behind the smaller ones because we generally access the smaller ones more often, so it makes more sense. But it's really easy to access them, especially with the handles out. You can just pull a pot out and then reach behind for the one behind it. And on the upper shelf, it's mainly dedicated to our pans, so I just have the sauté pans, instead of being in one big pile, now they're in two separate piles. And I have all of our steamers and then sort of miscellaneous kitchen accessories that we don't use quite as often tucked in the side, but not a lot tucked back there. If there was like a big appliance that we didn't use very often, I'd probably put it back there. But I went ahead and took out the food processor, because now that the There are little ones in the family. My sister-in-law has a baby. I don't think it's safe to have appliances with sharp blades like a food processor in a lower cabinet like this where they could just stick their hands in and hurt themselves. So I'm going to find a new place for the food processor, and I will show you, of course, when I find that place. But let's move on to the next cabinet. This cabinet here has again presented a lot of trouble for us over the years with it's just been really hard to get things, and it's on the right side of the sink. It's right next to the oven, and it's where we store most of our kitchen cooking aids such as bowls and Pyrex dishes and Corningware and strainers. And I just think a few simple organizing without using any aids or anything could just really help a lot in this cabinet, because again, it has a lot of dead space in the back where we could store less used items like that bundt pan. Nobody needs to access that every day, and muffin tins. Those can all be pushed back. So I'm gonna again just try to use my wits and see if I can organize this a little better, just in the way I place things. I apologize, it's very dark back here. I just wanted to show you just how deep the the cabinet goes, and it's just dead space. But I think just by stacking things more properly, I'll be able to do a lot better. So all of this came out of that one cabinet. And again, I think we never use those baking things, really hardly ever. I can just organize this in such a way that I can fit everything back in there and it'd be much more accessible. Okay, once again, just a few short minutes and just, organizing by type and how frequent we use things. I think I made this cabinet a lot more accessible. So I'll take you up. I'm sorry that the light's in the shot. I don't know how to maneuver without it. The top shelf has our most frequently used items, including many sets of mixing bowls. These are all strainers. Salad spinner, and then I'll try to take you in there. In the very back, I put our jars that we use to store things. Sometimes they're just repurposing jars, and that woven basket we use to put vegetables and fruit in sometimes. So I think this is much, much more accessible. Things are not precariously perched on top of each other, and you don't have to take half the contents of the cabinet out to get in. And then on the bottom here, again, I put all of our Corningware and Pyrex kind of baking things that we use for baking right in the front here. I don't know if you can see the tea kettle. We don't use that very often. It's in the back. And then it's pretty dark, but you can see I just stacked all of the baking things. We really don't use those often, if at all. I don't really know even where they came from, but in the back there. But if we ever need to access them, they're neatly stacked by type: cake pans, bundt pans, pie tins, and muffin tins. So it'll be easy to access those. I thought I should show you this neat little cabinet that's built right in with the kitchen here. Then we store our large cutting boards and cookie sheets in. I'm not going to organize this because it's perfectly functional as is, but I thought I should show you. So I went ahead and pulled all these vases and kind of random things out of this cabinet that is situated above the oven here, because we really don't use vases. We're not usually at the house long enough to have flowers, and we have one vase that we really keep out for decoration that we use, so it's kind of a waste of space. So I'm going to find another place to store those in the house. But I thought this tall cabinet here would be great to put the food processor, because it's easy to reach without getting on a ladder, but it's out of the way of little hands. So I'm going to put that and some other things in here, and I will show you. Okay, so this cabinet's actually really deep, and we could totally fit other large scale, less frequently used things behind these appliances, but I don't have any of them in the store right now, so just leave it be. So I've got the food processor, the coffee bean grinder, and the blender, and all of these things have sharp blades in them. So I moved them up from ground cabinets to above the oven cabinet here, and then I just have the roaster, which does not fit in the drawer under the oven, tucked on the side there. But this cabinet up above is pretty much empty, and there's a lot of room for storing things there as well. But I just think this is a safer, more long-term, for now with little ones. But and like I said, it's still easy to reach the things, but we don't use them every single day, so it's okay to have them stored away. This last cabinet's actually right next to the first one I showed you, and it's right under the toaster oven. There's really not a lot going on here. It's where we had some of those appliances that I showed you that I just put in the cabinet above the stove. or the oven, excuse me. This is where they were before. Now I just have some things that aren't necessarily that dangerous. There's a little crock pot thingy and a waffle maker, and then I just put the cedar planks here, and I was thinking maybe this could be a good place to put grilling accessories during the off season, so like mitts, and maybe even that long spatula that barely fits in the drawer, so we'll see, but there's a lot of space here in this kitchen, as you can see, and just rearranging some things makes a huge difference. I'm going to show you the cabinets where we store our plates and cups and mugs. I didn't change these up too much, I just kind of tidied them up, so I don't have a before shot to show you, and we do actually have our holiday china out right now, which we swap out for our regular stuff when the holidays are over. But this is how we organize the plates and cups and bowls out here. So we've got big plates and little plates on the bottom, and also these little bowls that we use a lot for prep and for serving kind of smaller things. And then regular bowls, 2 different sizes, and some extra holiday plates right there. All the mugs we store upside down just to keep them clean, and they are on the top shelf. This corner cabinet here has all of our glasses, and we have a enormous amount of glasses, but we do go through quite a few when the whole family is out here and we have parties and things with our friends in the area. So I actually did a little bit more organizing in this, whereas they were kind of all jumbled. There was really not much of a rhyme or reason before. I organized them by height, basically by size. So we have different styles of glasses in all different sizes, but I put all of the shorter glasses on the bottom shelf here, and there's one cup with a lot of straws in it in the back that I just left as is. Then sort of the medium tall glasses and then all the different varieties of styles we have on this middle shelf, and then really big glasses, and then there's some glass ice cream dishes as well on the top shelf. And that's how we keep our massive quantity of glasses stored. I didn't actually end up moving these items, so I just thought I'd pop this clip in to show you that I just organized them so they were a little neater, stacked by type, and they're stacked pretty closely, so they won't budge a whole lot, but they won't also are easy enough to get out. It was a pretty simple project, especially because it just was a matter of pulling everything out, cleaning up, and then putting everything back in a functional way. And it's really such an easy thing to do. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it doesn't take any money, which is always a good thing. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing that. And I am going to be giving you next up a peek at our Under the Sink organization. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching, you guys. Take care. Bye.